See, Danny, you're not last.
Oh, there you go.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sara Dady, and I am your Democratic candidate for the 16th Congressional District. I've been down here many times, right, John?
This is number 5.
No, 6.
Is it 6?
It's 6.
It is 6?
And Saturday will be
Number 7.
Because that's what a job of a representative is. I'm an attorney, and I know I cannot represent my clients unless I talk to them. I cannot be an advocate for their best interests unless they tell me what their best interests are. And we deserve that in this wonderful head and heart district of Illinois that runs from the Wisconsin border to the Indiana border. We are good, hard-working people that live here. And I know that because I grew up in the 16th Congressional District. And I still live here even after the redistrict. And when I was growing up, my mom always took me with her when she went to vote. So my attitude with voting was, it's just something you do. You eat turkey on Thanksgiving, you watch fireworks on the 4th of July, on election day, you vote. But the majority of Americans, we don't have that thinking. We don't have that tradition anymore. But we have to have it because we're a country that is governed by the citizens. And if the citizens don't vote, if they don't vote because they think their vote doesn't matter, I promise you, then our government will prove that they don't matter. And we're seeing that now in our country. You know, middle class wages have stagnated for over 30 years. At the same time, we have a Congress and elected representatives who weaken unions at every chance that they get. And the whole purpose of the union is to level out the negotiating table between employer and employees. On top of that, we know that we do not all have access to health care. And those of us who have insurance are getting to the point where we're too scared to use the insurance because we can't afford the deductible, or we can't afford the bills that are going to trickle in if we use it. I'm an employer. I have my own law firm. I'm an immigration attorney. I started my practice out of the living room of my house, and I've got the largest immigration law firm west of Chicagoland in downtown Rockford. And my firm pays for health insurance for our employees. We have about 13 employees, and we started out paying 50% of their premiums. But you know, those premiums go up 17 to 20% every year. And we realized the annual pay raises we were giving our employees were getting eaten up in those increased premiums. So we started increasing the percentage of the premium that we pay. Now we pay nearly 75% of our employees' premiums. And we do it because we need healthy employees. And when we have good employees, we want to keep them. But it's unsustainable for any small employer, and it's unsustainable for workers. We're going to get to the point where those paychecks are going to shrink because of healthcare costs. And you know what? This tax cut that the Republican Congress passed and this Republican president signed, that money's gone. That's going to be eaten up in the increased premiums this fall because this president put a freeze on $10 billion in payments to private insurers. Because this president knocked out the mandatory insurance provision, which is what spread the risk across this country to make health insurance cheaper for all of us. We can't go on. At this point, we need Medicare for all.
Yes.
Well, how are we going to pay for it, you might say? It's about spending priorities, and it's also about increasing revenues. Not taxes, incomes. Here in Illinois, we pay nearly 5% flat tax, right? Well, 5% of $75,000 is more than 5% of $20,000. So we need to increase middle class wages. Medicare for all will go a long way. As soon as employers don't have to pay $13,000 a year towards those premiums, and employees don't have to pay $5,000 a year towards those premiums. we have to increase the federal minimum wage from $7.25 an hour to $15 an hour. And that's going to increase wages for everybody. And we have got to protect the right to collectively bargain in this country. It was unions that built the middle class in this country after World War II. It was unions that ensured that we get a 40-hour work week, that people get paid overtime when they go over 40 hours, that we get weekends off, paid vacation, and access to health care. And if we're going to cut the legs out of the union, we're going to cut the legs out from under the middle class. And that's what's happening. We deserve a representative who is going to work for the middle class. I've got 2 kids, ages 13 and 11. I'm still paying on my student loans. My student loans aren't going to be paid off until my 13-year-old is a sophomore in college. At the rate we're going, her student loans aren't going to be paid off until her granddaughter is a sophomore in college. We are not protecting a future for our kids. And I want my kids to stay in Rockford. I want them to have opportunities there. So we have to focus in investing in making sure college is affordable and our kids and grandchildren don't have to go into a lifetime of debt, which will prevent them from purchasing a home, starting families, and building middle-class wealth. We also have to invest in infrastructure. You know, I drive I-39 a lot. I've probably put about 30,000 miles on my car since I started running. And I've hit every single pothole on I-39. I've hit every single pothole on US 20 through 2 counties and on I-88 and on I-80 for that matter. You know, there's no good reason why we're spending trillions of dollars on foreign wars that never seem to end. And we have a U.S. representative who is on TV every day calling for military action in a 3rd foreign country. When we can't even get out of the 2 that we're in, we need a representative who's going to prioritize reinvesting our tax dollars in this district, which will create good union jobs and make us fit for the 21st century. So, your right to vote, our right to vote, we have to get out there. We have to remind people that our right to vote is what makes us American. And if they think their vote doesn't matter, then our government's going to prove that they don't matter. Thank you.
Thank you.